And our next plant that we're going to talk about is Stachys lavandulifolia. This is a really exciting plant because it's deer resistant and it is rabbit resistant. Everyone's going to love it. It spreads out as a mat that's going to get to about 16 inches wide, and then it'll only get 8 to 10 inches tall with flower spikes on there. The common name for this plant is pink cotton lamb's ear. Now this is not like the lamb's ear of old. This one won't spread like that. It's a very slow creeper that makes a nice mat, and you can see how beautiful the foliage is alone. But in late spring, early summer, it's going to put on a flower spike that looks like cotton candy that's pink, and it'll be about 8 inches or 6 inches tall. Wonderful plant. We are also marketing for next year, 2020 plant, another Stachys lavandulifolia. And I'll show you that one compared to this one. It is a silver form. And you can see the growth habit, how different it is. Both of these are the same genus species, but this one we're going to be calling pink cotton lamb's ear, and this one's going to be pink candy lamb's ear. So you can have cotton candy, pink cotton candy when you have both of them. This one here, zone 5, same as the previous one. Zone 5 to 9, blooms in late summer or late spring, early summer. Same size, but it does not bloom as heavily as the pink cotton. But it doesn't matter because the foliage on this one is really beautiful. Now you can see how this one is growing in pots. It's a little more challenging. It's a slower grower. All these fuzzy leaf plants are not easy to grow. And so we won't have this one available for the June 11th or the June 29th event. We have to wait a little longer before we can get our numbers up. But this one we will have available. Pink candy, pink cotton, cotton candy. And our next plant is a really cool plant. And like several other Plant Select plants, it may look a little floppy in a pot, but when you get this out in the ground, it's going to be a little more turgid and have a little more shape to it. This is Dracocephalum ruchiana. This is indigo blue dragonhead. This is a really cool plant. It's from the bridge or the mountain range that goes between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, over around the Mediterranean. And this plant will get to about 18 inches tall. It'll be full of these violet blue flowers. It's a zone 3 plant, and it takes it moderate to dry in full sun. Another one of these beautiful plants that's going to bloom for most of the summer in the heat, late spring to early, almost August, into August. I love this plant. It's a fantastic plant. I think you will too. And this is another one of the 2020 plants. This is Artemisia Rotatinum Leprechaun. This plant is a sage that is deer resistant and rabbit resistant. It's herbaceous, even though it feels a little bit woody. But in the springtime, when this starts to grow, it almost makes a perfect ball every time. So you can line these out and have a really nice hedge that you never have to shear. You'll just cut it back in the wintertime when all this herbaceous plant life just goes to the ground, and then it'll come up and do it again. But it's a fantastic plant. It doesn't flower per se, but you get it for the texture and the wonderful green color that it offers. It's a zone 4 plant and grows to about 2 feet, and by 2 feet, it's perfect for dry shade as well as full sun. It can take moderate water to xeric. And this plant was discovered and brought to us by Kelly Grummins, who found it in Wyoming, probably along one of the pioneer trails is what he suspects. And this has herbal purposes to it. And it is, he found it growing up there, but it was a very tough and compact form of this southern wood that Artemisia arboretum is. And he calls it leprechaun because it just stays really smaller and tight and wonderful. I'm sure this is going to be a great plant for shade purposes, and we are all looking for dried shade plants. So here's another 2020 Plant Select plant. This is Thermopsis Lupinoides. This is a synonym of Thermopsis fabaceae. We are calling it golden candles. It is a wonderful plant because it always seems to come out right when you need it in the early spring. So right now is April 27th, and I planted this plant last year as a 2-inch plant. There wasn't much to it at all. It loves this well-drained soil. It loves the heat, and this area right in this garden gets plenty of sun. It's going to get to about 2 to 3 feet tall. It can get about 2 feet wide, 2.5 feet wide. This plant comes from Siberia. It's a zone 3 plant. It's in the legume family, and as it gets bigger, you'll just have more and more of these yellow, beautiful yellow flowers that come out first thing in the spring, and it is just such a fabulous plant. It doesn't do much the rest of the year, but that time when it does bloom in the spring always seems exactly right when you just need it the most.